He doesn't text, he doesn't call, he doesn't react. And everyone says the same thing. He's over you. But here's what most people don't understand. Silence is not always peace. Sometimes silence is pressure. And today you're going to understand why his silence is actually revealing more than his words ever could. Stay until the end, because once you see this, you'll never misinterpret quiet behavior the same way again. Why silence is misunderstood. We've been taught something dangerous, that when someone goes quiet, it means they stopped caring. But psychology tells a very different story. There are two types of silence. The silence of indifference. 2. The silence of emotional overload. Indifference is calm. It's light. It moves on easily. But emotional overload, that silence feels heavy, tense, unfinished. And the second type is the one most people mistake for being over you. Why he pretends he's over you, let's be honest. Pretending doesn't mean lying to others, it means lying to yourself first. When he acts like you don't affect him anymore, what he's really doing is protecting 3 things: his ego, his self-image, his emotional control. Admitting he still feels something would mean admitting he didn't win, he lost control, he cared more than he planned to, and for many people, especially men, that feels unbearable. So instead of honesty, they choose silence. Silence as a defense mechanism. Silence isn't always absence. Sometimes it's a wall built to stop vulnerability, rejection, emotional exposure. When he doesn't speak, he doesn't have to explain, he doesn't have to feel, he doesn't have to risk. But here's the paradox. The more silence is used as protection, the louder the emotions become inside. And that internal noise always leaks out, through behavior, what his silence actually says. If he were truly over you, he wouldn't check, he wouldn't react indirectly, he wouldn't feel unsettled by your absence. True indifference doesn't monitor, but instead, silence often comes with signs like watching from a distance, subtle reactions without engagement, awareness of your moves without acknowledgement, emotional shifts when you pull back. This is not detachment. This is unresolved attachment. Why he doesn't reach out. This is the part that confuses people the most. If he still feels something, why doesn't he say it? Because reaching out would mean dropping the mask, losing emotional control, admitting uncertainty, and silence feels safer than honesty. Silence lets him keep the illusion of strength, even if it costs him peace. The role of ego. Ego doesn't want healing. Ego wants to look untouched. So ego says, don't respond, don't react, don't show weakness. But here's the truth. Ego-driven silence is fragile. It depends on you staying available. It depends on you still caring. It depends on you not moving on. The moment you truly detach, ego starts to crack. Why his silence is not a message to you. This part is important. His silence is not always about you. It's often about him avoiding his own emotions. Silence becomes a way to delay grief, regret, acceptance. But delayed emotions don't disappear. They wait, and they surface later, stronger. What you should never do. When someone goes silent, the instinct is to chase clarity, to ask, what happened? Do you still care? Where do we stand? But chasing silence only strengthens it, because silence feeds on reaction. The less you feed it, the weaker it becomes. The real shift of power. Power is not knowing how he feels. Power is being okay without knowing. When you stop analyzing silence, stop decoding behavior, stop waiting for confirmation, something changes. you regain emotional balance. And when you do, the person hiding behind silence feels it, because detachment is louder than questions. The moment he realizes, there's a moment when the silence backfires. It's when he realizes, you're not waiting, you're not watching, you're not emotionally available anymore. And suddenly the silence he used as control turns into isolation. That's when feelings surface, not always as words, but as restlessness. Final truth. Silence is not proof of indifference. It's proof of something unresolved, because people who are truly over someone don't perform strength, don't need distance, don't hide behind quiet. They move on quietly. So if he pretends he's over you but his silence feels heavy, believe the silence. It's saying more than he ever will. Sometimes the loudest emotions hide in the quietest spaces, and sometimes silence isn't the end of a feeling. It's the place where it's being buried alive. If this resonated with you, you're not imagining things, you're noticing patterns. And awareness is always the beginning of freedom.